Good evening, everyone, or I should say good night, literally. Good morning. First of all, let me thank you for your patience, especially members of the media. I know this has been a very long evening. I wish I could give you better news at the end of tonight, but regrettably the talks have once again broken down. The regrettable situation is that in spite of the company G4S conceding that they have in fact been paying lower wages to a category of worker called a security steward than they would have paid to a security officer, they refuse to correct the situation and have only offered to do it on an interim basis, which clearly is unacceptable. The government of Barbados is very clear that both the principles and conventions and statutes of the ILO, the International Labour Organization, are not to be trifled with, not to be ignored, nor are they to be observed in the breach. It is against this background that we have not even gotten to other aspects of the conversation. But it is inconceivable that a company can concede that since 2014 they have continued to act in a way that is discriminatory to a number of its employees. To be precise, 300 of the 640 employees who are responsible for guard duties. The other 340 are in fact security officers. Security officers receive the sum of $8.79 per hour, and security stewards get the sum of $7.24 per hour. The company further conceded that it has not hired a single person as a security officer since 2014 and has only hired people at the lower level of security stewards for competitiveness reasons. The company further acknowledged that it has not promoted a single security steward to being a security officer such that persons can be promoted to earn at a higher level for the task which they have done. The company further conceded that there has been salary increases for only members of the administration and that no security guard and no security steward has received any increase in rate of pay since 2014. It is against that background that the government of Barbados has made it clear that we will seek a legal opinion. And I've asked the Honorable Attorney General to not only present one on behalf of central government, but also the state-owned enterprises in which we are majority owners, that we would also want legal opinions from them in the next 36 hours so that we may examine all of our rights as government or as a state-owned enterprise in these matters, since it is not the intention nor wish of the government of Barbados to be a co-conspirator in a breach of the International Labour Organization's principles, conventions, or statutes. And it is against that background of our not wishing to be a co-conspirator to, an accessory with, an accomplice with anyone in breach of these conventions that I will wait for the legal opinion before we announce the next step that the government of Barbados will take with respect to G4S. It is against this background that we have also asked the Barbados Workers Union to stay their hand with respect to further industrial action for the 36 hours, because this is not a case of the government or the state-owned enterprises or the people of Barbados trying to conspire with anyone to pay anybody less than what they deserve, or to put it very bluntly, to act in a discriminatory manner against a category of worker who is performing equal work and hence would expect equal pay for the same persons. What is of significance to me is that there is no dispute whatsoever about the nature of the work being carried out by the stewards and the security officers. On both sides, the company and the union both agree that the work is the exact same work, and that without consultation with the collective bargaining agreement, the company introduced this new category of worker and started to employ everybody at this lower level since 2014. My friends, this is a country that is governed by the rule of law. It is governed by a constitution. It is equally governed by the international treaties to which we have become signatory. This government has already stated that we will not, under any circumstances, condone discrimination in any form. I don't think that you need me to repeat that yet again. I've said it over and over. I've equally said that principles only mean something when it is inconvenient to stand by them. We knew that this was going to be a difficult...
Your phone's in flight mode, so I can't help you with that at the moment.
Somebody's phone, please. The bottom line is that we will not, under any circumstances, contribute to a situation where workers' rights are being undermined and where there is discrimination against anyone. Equally, we are not a country where people act rashly. And to that extent, therefore, we have asked for the legal opinion, but we are equally going to put Barbadian workers first before we put the interests of those who would want to exploit Barbadian workers if that were indeed their motivation. It is against that background, therefore, that on Wednesday, I expect, AG, that we will have a legal opinion. The government will then reflect on the opinion and meet and consult back with the union and with the company. I equally hope that the company will reflect on the import of what they have put on the table tonight, because I do not know how you can admit that something is wrong and then ask for permission to continue or to break for 30 days and continue again with what is wrong. And if that is how business is done in other parts of the world, then I can say to you what I've said on too many other occasions, not about here. That is not what we will allow as part and parcel of our industrial climate. I also want to say to those who are trifling, because one of the consequences of the pandemic is that in difficult times, it is a natural thing for people to want to run and find safety. But if you are the beneficiary of profits and dividends over the years, then you carry with it, you accept that going along with that is a responsibility to also be there when the profits and dividends have gone, to take the other side of the pendulum, which is the risk of difficult times. And the profits and dividends have not come without labor invariably putting their sweat, their blood, their tears, their efforts to be part and parcel of the equation to make companies profitable. If we accept that, then believe you me, the first duty is first to carry your workers along with you as far as is possible. I have said over and over that the government will stand by those workers for whom we have to pay severance, particularly in the tourism sector. But I've equally said that where companies can afford and are simply not paying, the government will act with absolute dispatch to recover the funds that will have to be dispensed as severance. Where a company is genuinely bankrupt, we understand that. And that is what the Severance Payments Fund was equally set up in order to be able to accommodate. But where persons are buying assets and taking receipt of them as recent as this week, or where persons want to buy property from government You can't tell me you can afford to buy government property, but you can't afford to pay the workers. And the government is very, very clear that in this season, in this guava crop, that you have to put the workers at the front and center of what you are prepared to do. And that the acquisition of property and the acquisition of all of these other things while leaving the workers on the side of the road for only the government to deal with will not be tolerated, especially by those who are from us and know about us and know our norms and our laws. And to that extent, I will say no more this evening, but suffice it to say that the government of Barbados is fully engaged on these matters. It is why we are meeting here at 1:45 in the morning, giving you a press conference. It is why the workers themselves are still here at 1:45. It is why if we have to carry them home ourselves because the public transport is not working, we shall do it. But what we will not do is to accept that any company or any human being can acknowledge that they are acting in breach of the law and that they come and ask for permission to continue to breach the law. That is unacceptable. And I therefore, AG, look forward to receipt of the legal opinions, and rest assured, I am equally conscious that for these matters, the government of Barbados will set an example that we do not believe that you can ignore the laws of this land nor the conventions to which we are signatory. With those words, I look forward to speaking to you later in the week. Thank you very much.